We continue our online course. It's week 7, sampling and the sampling distribution, part 2. I'm an instructor,追踪崑大. I'm from the Kunshan University, and this course is a master course. The course name is the Quantitative Research Method. So let's continue our topic. Okay. Sampling and the sampling distribution. The last week we talk about the finite sampling, and also we talk about the mean or the standard deviation or this mean value. This we will. And this week we will continue to talk about the sampling distribution, and also it's very important if you want to collect the data, how to design a questionnaire. Is you need to learn how to design the question, because sometimes if the question is not very clear, the respondent maybe they cannot have the right feedback. Okay. So the introduction is maybe we in the previous week we already talked about. So here we just go through this kind of the sentence. Okay. So element is the entity of which data are collected, and a population is a collection of all the elements of interest. And a sample is a subset of the population, and the sample population is the population from which the sample is drawn. Okay, so a frame is a list of the elements that the sample will be selected from. Okay, so now you understand what I talking about, because the last week we have go very detailed for this concept. Okay, so the reason we select a sample is to collect the data to answer a research question about the population. The sample result provide only estimate of the value of the population characteristic. Okay, so reason is very simple, and the sample contain only a portion of the population. With proper sampling method, the sample result can provide good estimate of population characteristic. So it's very important, and the sample the sample must be choose the right sample and collect the data, and also we need to design a good quality of the questionnaire. Okay, sampling from finite population, sample from the infinite population. Okay, so this is the research. The sample and the population, we must have a good fit and the moderate or poor fit. So we must be choose the good fit. Okay. And the population, maybe previous week we already talked about a collection of unit to which we want to generate a set of findings or a statistical model, and the sample is a smaller collection of units from the population used to determine truth about the population. So this is we already talked about the output. We found the output. Maybe we have the error, because sometimes if some question, maybe you do some survey, and also maybe you do choose the sample, random sample, and maybe sometimes maybe you have some bias, the result may have bias. So this is will have error. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, how to design the questionnaire. And before we talk about how to design the questionnaire, so maybe we need to learn how to know what's the questionnaire. So a questionnaire, what's a questionnaire? First one, a series of questions gather information from lots of people and focus around a single topic or an area of interest. So you must think about these three kind of very important point. And the questionnaire is a vehicle used to pose a question that the researcher wants respondent to answer. Okay, so it's very good definition. So it's very easy to understand. And what's the research design? Research design is a systematic process in which the researcher contemplate various question format, consider a number of factors, characterize the survey and hence ultimately work the various questions very careful and organize the questionnaire layout. Okay, so the questionnaire did maybe about the format, and also maybe you now like maybe you will have like a different language, so maybe you need to, if you in maybe some respondent they are talking English, maybe you need to think about, maybe you need to have the English version of your questionnaire and maybe the Chinese or other language. So this is a research for layout format. Okay, so this is the step in the questionnaire development process. So first, the top one, you need to determine survey objective. So this is the kind of your research question, and you identify the research question. The next step, you need to decide data collection method. What's the data collection method? Maybe in the interview, maybe go to the company interview and give them questionnaire. And the second one, maybe you use the internet and go, maybe you design the questionnaire online, maybe like the Google Scholar or like other website like SurveyMonkey, this kind of website, and the respondent just fill out the questionnaire online. So this is the most of the master student they do this. And the next step, question development. So this is a question is the maybe where you will come out the question, and maybe some student ask me to how to design the question. I think you need to, when you do the literature review, maybe you in the journal article, maybe they already have some questionnaire about your research topic. So maybe you can use their questionnaire to just change the word, and sometimes you can change in the sentence and they become your research question. Okay. And the next one, question evaluation, is the pilot test. So when you finish your like the first version of the questionnaire, you need to find some other people to test the question. Maybe they need to the people that read the question and give you a feedback. Maybe they say, oh, this question is not easy to understand, you need to change some word, or like maybe you need to change the style, or maybe it's the change the maybe too much question, you need to delete some question. And the next step is gain approval from client. So you need to, before you send them questionnaire or send them email, you need to ask them, did they agree to fill out the questionnaire? Because this is very important, because there's some company maybe they don't accept their employee to fill out the questionnaire from outside. So you need to ask first. At the pre-test, this is important. So before your final test, you need to have the pre-test and revise as need. Maybe after you pre-test, maybe you get some feedback. You can revise your questionnaire and finalize and duplicate. Maybe you need to hard copy. Maybe it's a lot of hard copy. Or also maybe you put the questionnaire online. So this is the final question and gather data, and the next step you need to write a report. Like in your thesis, you write the final chapter, the conclusion, analyze the conclusion. So this is the questionnaire design step. Okay, so before we design a question, we need to know some very important idea. Effective questionnaire. First one, important, X relevant question. Question they will provide an answer to the research topic in question. And the second one, get valid response. Response get reflect the respondent actual opinion. So you need to find the valid response. If the question is about the management, maybe manager can fill out, is suitable to fill out this kind of question. If you ask the low-level employee, and then maybe they cannot understand, maybe you got embedded response. Okay, so you need to be very careful. And the third one, get a representative response. Make it more reliable to infer the finding to wider population. Okay. Okay, so you can know that anyone can design a questionnaire. Effective questionnaire require planning and appreciation of the psychology of respondent. Fill in the questionnaire in a complex process. The job of questionnaire designers is to make it easy to respond. Okay, so this is very important. You need to realize, you need to understand. Okay, this is the exercise. It's the responding to a question. And the first one, what's the color of your car, and what do you usually have for breakfast, and what did you have for breakfast last Friday? Have you ever not left a trip at a restaurant? What's your sexuality? Okay, so this is the kind of question, but it's not related to your research topic. But this is maybe you like the customer certification. Maybe they will ask it the age, or like the how many times you go to the restaurant, or this kind of question. And what's the biggest regret in your life? Okay, and that very important, you need to choose the right approach. Okay, so the type of questionnaire, self-complete interview, is we have the two kinds. Self-complete is you just send them the questionnaire, and they finish and they send back. This is the self-complete. And another one is the interview. Is maybe you go to some place to interview people, and also they fill out a questionnaire, and maybe you can ask some question. So this is the different. Self-complete, maybe your postal and electronic, like I say like the internet questionnaire. And the interview, maybe the face-to-face, and maybe you will use a phone. Okay. Okay, so some consideration, your approach should take consideration of your topic, research topic, must be related. And who you want to survey, you need to think about. Maybe now you are a first year student. Maybe now you need to think about what's my research topic, how do I collect the data if I do this research, and the type of information you want, and your budget is important, because sometimes you need to give some some coupon or some feedback, because you want to increase the response rate, and sometimes if you didn't give the response anything, maybe they don't want to fill out. So some students they give some the coupon or some gift, okay. And how quick you need information. This is a cost a lot of time, because your master study maybe just 1 year, and you need to finish maybe the 1 month or 2 months. You need to collect the data. It's time consuming, so you need to be very careful. If you design you find a research topic, and you need to find how do you get the data, and you need to think about how quickly I can collect the data. Okay, so the sample size and the depth of information. Okay, so very important, better response rate from the interview rate, so better than the sales response rate, because the interview is sometimes you can face to face, and maybe they can give you the better feedback than just the sales response rate. And the sales response rate are usually cheaper, because the face to face, maybe you need to go to some place, and sometimes it spend a lot of time. So this maybe it's more expensive than the sales response survey. And the interviewer day survey can provide richer information. Sales response rate can reach more people. Okay. Don't confuse quantity for quality. So you need to think about quality is important, and quantity also important, but the quality is more important. Okay. The timing and the convenience, when it complete right after the event, at some time after. Okay, so sometimes you send some people the questionnaire. If they didn't send back on time, you need to call them, maybe ask them what's the problem. Maybe they fill out a questionnaire, so they call them, and then you need to you need their response, and can then send you the answer as soon as possible. Okay, whether it complete from of other people or in private. And many people are poor estimate numerical information of their life. The more common is even the shorter a person widow or recall it. Okay. Okay, so next section is a question type. So question is you have open question and the closed question. Open question is just the respondent, they can fill out their opinion, and the closed question is just just say up some choice, and the respondent just fill up they just click, they just choose. Okay. Okay, so the question type is the open question and the closed, and maybe you have the single response, and maybe the multiple choice, multiple response, and a traditional opinion question. Maybe you ask the respondent certification in the like the restaurant. They always they ask their customer fill out the questionnaire, the certification survey, and then they releases the attitudinal and the option, okay, and the filter and the routing, okay. And the question is the two kind as design, okay, open end and close, and try to anticipate the response that you will get, and well suited for getting opinion, useful in exploratory situation. Sometimes you want to collect more depth information. You can use the open question, and the close use when all opinion or maybe option may be list when the options are mutually exclusive. Okay, so the open end and the closed question, and you can see you have like speed of completion this slow because the open question maybe they need to write a sentence, and the close just choose the like the just choose the some answer, okay. And the exploratory nature, the open is higher than the close, and the breadth and the depth is open is higher than close. And the easy of preparation, open end is easy, but the close is difficult because you need to have find the answer, okay. Easy analysis, and open end is difficult because the close you have the respondent just choose the you deny the answer, okay. Okay, so the questionnaire language is, before I say, is the now here some like a questionnaire format, maybe the language maybe Chinese or other or English or other language. So questionnaire language should be simple, specific, free of bias, not patronized, and technical accurate, addressed to those who knowledge appropriate for reading level or respondent. This is important because sometimes if the questions is difficult to understand, is respond maybe they just deep blank, they don't want to feel, so maybe they just quit, and this question is not useful for you, okay. And the scale, okay, scale are devised to measure the attitude or characteristic of respondent. A respondent act as judge for the subject of questionnaire. So maybe you heard about like a 7 Likert scale or 5 Likert scale. Depend on, I think it's depend on your research. Okay, so measurement scale, the 4 different forms of measurement scale: nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. This we already talked about in the second week, okay. And the nominal scale are usually classified into category, and its weakness form or measurement data may be totals. What type of software do we use the most? Well, this kind of nominal. Okay. Just like the one is the word processor, and the second one is spreadsheet. 3 is database, and 4 is the email program. Okay. And the ordinal allow classification, and ordinal scale imply rank or order, and there's no difference between the importance of choice. Okay, so this is the like the support step of the technical support group is we have the 5. First one is extremely helpful, and the second one very helpful, and the third one moderately helpful, 4, this is the negative feedback, not very helpful. And 5 is not helpful at all. So this we have the positive and the middle, moderate, and the negative. So this is the ordinal scale. This is the 5 linker scale. And also the interval scale used when the interval are equal. There is no absolute zero. Example interval scale include this scale. How useful the sport given the techno sport group, not useful at all, and extremely useful. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the interval scale. So you can compare the ordinal scale. Okay, so this. Okay, and the ratio, the interval between number are equal. Ratio scale are absolute zero. Approximately how many hours do you spend on the internet daily? Okay, so this is ratio scale. Okay, so guideline for using scale: use a ratio scale when intervals are equal and they are no absolute zero. Use an interval scale when the intervals are equal but there is no absolute zero. And use an ordinal scale when the intervals are not equal but classes can be ranking. And use a nominal scale when cases are not ranking. Okay, so this is the rule for you choose the scale. So attitude, opinion can be difficult to get face to the question right, so it means the same thing to all people. Can be tamed into put a lot of explanation into question, but sometimes just confuse things further. Use clear, simple English language and avoid be too general. Try not to ask iceberg question. Okay. Okay, so let's continue talk about the questionnaire, the question, like the midpoint, neutral opinion, and with the midpoint in the question on attitude. So you see that this is the 5 linker scale. So this is the negative, is the strong disagree, and then positive is the strongly agree. So this is the middle one, this is the midpoint. So historical conversion as it is so that respondents choose a neutral opinion to avoid thinking about a question. Now showing the include a midpoint, increase reliability and bettability. So not just the positive or negative. Some respondents maybe they choose the middle one. Okay, neutral. Okay, so this the kind of the question, the format of questionnaire. How important for your ability to learn clinical today? Please rate the following. First, based on your experience, and the second, how important this is to you. So you can see the several in this question here, 5 questions. First one, waiting time. So you can see here is a linker, 7 linker scale. Is the very good. Is the you can say excellent, and it's very bad. It's very poor. And the second, how important is length or waiting time to you? Okay, so quality of magazine in waiting room, and how important is the quality of magazine in waiting room to you? Okay, so you can see it's a little bit different in the scale. So you can see the very poor, excellent, not important, very poor, excellent. Okay, and the questionnaire it has some common mistake. So you can think about what's the mistake. What might be the wrong with this question? Okay, so what was the first drink you had today? So you can see the tea, coffee, water, juice. Maybe you need to deny haven't had a drink today, and the other. If you didn't put the last two, sometimes the respondent maybe they have the other one, they cannot figure out. So need to cover all options. Okay. So the cross question, deny cross question, you need to be very careful is the choice you need to cover all. Okay. And the next one, common mistake. What might be the wrong with the question? What's your age group? So you can see in the 0 to 18, 18 to 30, 30 to 45, and more than 45. So what's the wrong in the question? You see the 18. If the person is 18-year-old, you need to fill the 0 to 18 or 18 to 30. Okay. So this might be a multiple choice. Okay. Okay. So the options should be mutually exclusive. So you need to change 0 to 18, 19 to 30, 31 to 45, and the more than is 46. Okay. Okay. Another question. What might be wrong with this question? What did you think about the waiting time? It's excellent, very good, good, average, poor. Okay. So you poor maybe just bad response, but just one maybe have the very poor, or you need to derive the more choice. Okay, maybe the 7 Likert scale. So options should be balanced. And another question, how would you rate the appointment booking service using the website, form, reception? So this is the just three choice. So sometimes you need to use the not available, because sometimes if they didn't book website and the form, so sometimes if they didn't do it, so you need to put the not available. Use option out response appropriate. Okay. So you need to next step, you need to increase clarity. Okay. Okay. So question wording, keep question as short as possible. Next is the 16 word, because sometimes if the sentence is too long, it may be the respondent maybe they don't want to read, but because it's a long sentence. Consider provide medium length, 30 word introduction to group or related question. Context is a vital. Use open-end question sparingly. Okay. Double question. If question can be brought down into part, then it should be. So this is a double question. It's a yes or no. Okay. Is space and storage adequate? And was the constant of patient obtained and record? Was the constant of the patient? Okay. It's just two choices. And the double negative. Do you think that is the unwise policy to continue sending the food aid to Africa? So this is double negative. So if you choose a yes, you say is unwise policy. If say no, is the wise. Okay, so this is the sentence. You must be very careful if you put this kind of like a double negative question. Okay, so if respondent tick no to give positive response, they can be considered to a double negative. And try to phrase the question and the positive, then so the positive response yes rather than no. And the next step, the style, appearance, and the layout. Okay, deny. Maybe this is the paper. Use the mail survey, and you need to use the A4 to A5 or this and double side printing. Okay, printing. Okay, front cover the title of question and the identity of organization carried out. Clearly explain the purpose of the questionnaire. Maybe you can say the list for the academic only. The data were not published in like the not just published in like other article. Okay, so keep graphical nature. Okay. And the font size is 12 point, and the questionnaire length filter is generated and keep plenty of the white space, and be constant in the user color, shape, and the location in order to guide the respondent through the questionnaire. And the other element, so you need to look professional. Give a statement completion time. So sometimes you send them questionnaire, maybe give them the 1 week or more day to finish it, because sometimes maybe they are busy on the job, and maybe you ask them the send the questionnaire back, maybe they don't have time to read. Okay, put the deadline for the return at the beginning or end of questionnaire. So in the questionnaire you need to write down how many days they need to finish. Okay, the deadline. Provide the return address on the questionnaire. Maybe they put a stamp if you want them to send back by mail. So you need to put a stamp. And maybe you put a thank you. And some students they use the thank you notes, and maybe they receive the feedback. They send the mail thank you notes. And ordering your questionnaire, press easy non-challenge question first, and the key filter question should go easy, and use a formal structure. Go from basic to more in-depth. General question before specific question. Go from the least sensitive to the more sensitive question. But try and put important question in before the end. Okay. And the order your question, ask for suggestion for improvement at the end. Maybe in the end of question you put the open question, and then maybe they can write down what their opinion when they fill out the questionnaire. Check for leading question, and the add prompt where required. Order question can impact heavily on the amount of time it takes for the respondent to complete the questionnaire. Okay, filter and the routing help identify which respondent should answer a detailed set of questions about a certain aspect of the topic. Can be difficult to achieve, should be very clear, simple. Okay, filter example. So about the new website, if yes, please answer the. If no, go to the question 5. So this is the filter. Okay. Okay, so it's another style. You visit our website today. Okay, so if they say yes, they finish this one, the part 1 question. If they no, maybe they skip to the question 2. Tip for increased response rate. Okay. So the first one is important, shorter question, because if the very long, sometimes they respond and they don't want to finish, because they will spend, it will cost a lot of time. Okay, good communication. Maybe in the questionnaire you need to say very clear what's the purpose of the research, and the content the respondent beforehand. Follow up the content with non-respondent. So if the respondent didn't send you the questionnaire back, you need to contact them and ask did they fill out any question or the monetary incentive This is I say the coupon and the personal touch in the handwriting address and the include respondent name in the cover letter. Okay. And another method delivery includes stamp return and the same by first case and the or recur delivery. Universally sponsorship can be add credibility and assure confidentiality. Okay. And the validity and reliability is important because you collect the data and later you need to run the analysis. So you need to be very careful validity and reliability. Questionnaire must be valid and reliable. Reliability of scale refers to consistency in response. Get the same result if the same question was demonstrated again under the same condition. Validity is agreed to which the question measures what the analyst intend to measure. Okay. There are three problems associated with poor construct scale: linearity, central tendency, and the halo effect. Okay. And this is the three situations. Okay, halo effect, and when the impression formed in the one question carry into the next question, solution to place one thread and several items on each page. So good response rate can be achieved when consistent control of questionnaire format, style, meaningful ordering, cluster of question, and the questionnaire format it allow ample white space, allow enough space for response to be typed for open-end question, ask respondent to clear mark their answer, use objective to help determine format, be consistent in style. Okay. Another important is order of question. More important questions go first. Similar topics should be clustered together. Randomness of question try to patient and the respondent, and the controversial question should be positioned after less controversial question. And the control use the web form. Okay, single line text box, score text box, and the check box yes or no, radio, and maybe yes, no, or true, false answer. Drop down menu. Select from a list and the submit or clear button. Okay, this is for the online questionnaire. Okay, so the method administration the questionnaire include carbon or concerned respondent together at once. Personally administer the questionnaire. Allow respondent to self-administer the questionnaire. Mail questionnaire and administer over the web or via email. Okay. So use the electronic. This is the email survey is the reduce cost, collect and store the result electronically. This is the most of the student they do it because sometimes the respondent they type the answer in the internet, and sometimes some question they didn't fill out. The system cannot go the next page. Maybe they need to go back to finish this question. But the other style they don't. If they forgot to answer one question, and they can go to another page. Okay. Okay. Okay, so in the week 7 we have the folder, and we have I prepared a file. You can see the questionnaire. You see the survey file edition for questionnaire. This is a sample. You see the first one you need to have the introduction, general instruction, And you can see that in this booklet are number of scale questions designed to measure your opinion, belief, and the behavior. Please answer the question as honestly as possible in a way that shows you how you really are, not how you would like to be, and how think you should. And you may feel that some questions are very similar to others in questionnaire. Each of different set of questions measure different aspects. So important you answer each question. Don't spend too much time thinking about your answer. The first answer is that pop into your head is what's the need. And the instructions are given for each of the different set of questions. Please read this carefully. And some set of questions ask you to give answer by tick a box. Okay, so and the next you can say thank you for very much for agreeing to participate in this study. So this is the introduction and tell the respondent how do they do this questionnaire. So like the question, you can see the first one maybe is for the basic information for the respondent, sex, please tick whichever apply. Okay, and the age, this is the open question. And what's the marital status, please tick. You need to very clear how you want to the respondent to do. Okay, so tick whichever best describe your current situation. You have the A condition. And do you have any children currently living? This is the just yes or no. Okay, what's the highest level education? And just tick 1. And this is what the major source stress in your life. This is the open question, and the respondent can write down the sentence, and the two small choose yes or no. Okay, if the yes is the question is the continue, how many cigarettes do you smoke per week? Okay, so you can see they have a different section. Scale A is the maybe X the some, and the scale B, okay, and they use the 5-Likert scale. So you can see the scale is this is the 4, strong agree, strong disagree. So and this is the middle one. Okay, and the scale D, they have the it's about agreement, strong disagree, strong agree, 7 Likert scale. And the E, okay, and the F. So you put the same field of question together. Okay, so and the scale G is the just 2 or 4. Okay, 2 choice, and this is the 5-Likert scale. So end of the questionnaire, you need to write you have reached the end of questionnaire. Thank you very much for participating in this study. Your assistance is greatly appreciated. So this is for the thank you for finishing this questionnaire. Okay, so this is the questionnaire, and another one. This is if we finish it, collect the data. Then now in here, this is the real format of questionnaire. You can see okay, so this is and you can see the variable. If we collect the data, and we want to type the data in SPS or Excel, this kind of program. So you can see the ID, sex, is the variable. You can see the SPS variable name, and the code is we can put in the value. We already talked about how to set up the value. Okay, so this is about the scale. Okay, so you can see so these two examples you can read, and it's very useful if you design the questionnaire. Okay, so see you next week.